6C, this is a public hearing for adoption of a resolution authorizing submittal of an application to the State Community Development Block Grant Program for an economic development allocation planning and technical assistance grant for $35,000 for grant writing and administration assistance, and authorize the Chief Executive Officer to sign the application. To the CEO.
Yes, we have both of these items. If I'll make comments on both of them at the same time, this should go rather quickly. We did receive what's called a NOFA, which is a Notice of Funding Availability recently. Under the new guidelines with limited funds that are available, we were asked to do a very quick reaction to those because the longer we delay, the less likelihood there will be funding available. The first item had to do with we came to the conclusion the easiest way to be successful was to continue with requesting a PTA grant or planning and technical assistance grant of $35,000 for grant writing and administration assistant. That would be done, I believe, I'm reading the resolution here, that would probably be done by CDCC. Is that what the goal is in item 6C?
For the general allocation?
For the general allocation, yes. And that would be done by CDC and try and leverage those funds. And Craig is here from CDC if you have any questions. That was properly noticed, and the hearing was held at CDC and for interested applicants. This is a formal public hearing on the board's behalf to take formal action. The second notice public hearing, which was a community block grant program, that had to do more with the focus on economic development. Well, in the last few days, there have been some new discussions that Steve has been involved with, and at this point, if there's any public comment, we would like you to hear that public comment, but we would like you basically to authorize us to do further work on that grant and return to you in the next 30 days. There were some partnership opportunities we were exploring with the city of Ukiah, and there was some previous grant work which is no longer eligible, so we do need to spend further work on that item. But if any member of the public is here today, if you could take public testimony, and then we'd bring this back to you. And Steve Duncliffe is here also from our office if you have any questions of him.
Okay. At this point, I'll open the public hearing.
Right.
And any additional staff comments at this point?
Council reminds me we would renotice the public hearing. It would not, on the one item, it would not be a continued item. It would be a renoticed item.
And that would be item
6C.
6.
Would that be C or D, Steve?
I don't have a copy of the agenda in front of me. The item referring to the economic development allocation. Okay.
That's the one we're on now.
Right.
So, okay. At this point, to the clerk, any additional correspondence or telephone message on this item?
No, we have not received any.
Okay. Any additional staff presentation on this item?
Well, with respect to 6C, I thought you were going to be, you're taking that off the agenda.
If there's public comment, we'll take public comment.
Yeah, all right.
Otherwise, we'll be pulling that from the agenda.
Okay. Is there public comment on item 6C? Okay. And so we'll continue this item?
No, it just gets pulled from the agenda, and they will renotice it and put it back on the agenda.
Okay. All right. So then let's move to item, I'll close the public hearing on that one. I'll open a public hearing on item 6D. This is in regards to submittal of an application of a CDC grant program for general allocation of planning and technical assistance of $35,000 for grant writing and administration assistance. Okay, so the public hearing is open to the staff for presentation on that item.
If there's no public comment, we would just encourage that your board give authorization for staff to proceed with the submittal of the grant application to CDBG.
Okay. Open up public comment. Any public comment on this item, 6D? Seeing no one step forward, back to the staff. Any additional pleadings? Okay, to the board.
So moved.
Close the public hearing.
I'll close public hearing at this point and request action from the board.
So moved.
It's been moved. Do I hear a second? Second. It's been seconded by Supervisor Colfax. Any discussion to the action? Call for the vote on the action. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Boy, that was a whiz-bang.
And Mr. Chair, before we go to lunch, I have one other item to read to you regarding the state of the California budget, if I might.
Okay, could I take, there's been a gentleman in the audience patiently waiting to speak to us, Mr. John Sankowitz, in regard to the Retirement Board Administrator job posting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Supervisors, CEO Mitchell, County Council Nadell. I'm a resident of Mendocino County. I've been a resident for 7 years. I've also been a money manager for the last 29 years. Most recently, I've worked for UBS, the largest private bank in the world with about $3 trillion under management. I'm a co-founder and managing partner of Battle Mountain Research Group, an offshore hedge fund. Currently, I have a show on